Today we're going to be talking about why it's okay to quit sometimes.
Hey guys,
it's Joseph
and Tasha from One Big Happy Life.
We make videos about how to find balance, build wealth, and live your happy. So if you want to see more videos about that, keep watching our channel, thumbs up, and subscribe.
So, like Joseph said in the intro, we are going to be talking about why it's okay to be a quitter. And first, let's start with what prompted this video. So, a week ago, I posted a video about why I quit keto, and there were a wide variety of responses. Most of them were super duper positive. Several people said, do what works for you. If it's keto, great. If it's not keto, whatever, we're here to support you. Some people said they were initially disappointed, but that they're happy that I actually decided to continue keto because they loved having me on the journey with them. Now, a very tiny portion of people had a particular negative comment, and it revolved around me being a quitter. And I was pretty surprised when I saw that because, as we all know, there are different ways of eating and different ways to reach your health and fitness goals. There's no one right way, which is why all these different ways of eating, aka diets, exist. But we thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about some of the stigma and shame that surrounds quitting and why that's misplaced, and buying into the idea that quitters never win can actually be really harmful for you in your life and actually prevent you from living your best life and living life to its fullest.
Now, I just want to preface, we're obviously not saying that just quitting everything whenever you feel like it is just totally cool, just quit everything. No, we're definitely not saying that. But we are also not saying that you should never quit anything. I mean, generally, the more important the decision, the thing that you're thinking about quitting is going to be, the more thought you should put into it beforehand, and the more likely you will need some kind of alternate plan or something like that.
Right. So quitting doesn't mean like I quit and I'm just going to walk out and I have no contingencies in place and I didn't put a lot of thought into this and I'm not going to give anyone any warning. That's not what we mean. And we're actually going to do a video about how to quit anything the right way in a little bit. But let's talk a little bit more about what stops us from quitting things in the first place. So obviously there's tons of societal pressure.
So we don't like people to think that we are not hard workers, and so that because
we as in people, not just us in particular.
Yeah, like your people's reputations matter to them, like they matter to us. Like we don't, and so that's probably the first thing. What will people think of me?
Yeah, will they think I'm a failure? Will they look down on me? Will I be considered to be less successful than my peers? Will I continue to fit in with my peer group, or are they going to think I'm a loser because I quit and I'm doing something different now?
Yeah, will people actually say stuff to you? Like in our case, anytime we do anything and we go ahead and open up and we say put that on YouTube, we know that we're definitely going to get comments, generally from both sides, but we've got to always be prepared for comments that we might know are coming, but still don't want to see. But and then that's true for everyone in their own lives, whether it's your friends, your colleagues. Somebody might say, hey, you just totally quit your job, or you just totally quit this club, or whatever, and
you're not one
of
us
hear about
anymore.
It. Yeah. So one of the many books that I've been reading this summer has been The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, and I have found that book hugely helpful in helping me not care about stuff that isn't really important to me. And so it's really about choosing the things to care about that you actually want to be caring about. And a lot of the times it's not the stuff that we tend to care about now. And so we just stop caring about those things. And I wish it were that simple, but it's the idea of it. And I've been trying to move my best as fast as possible away to caring for just the stuff that I value and that my family values versus what everyone else values.
It's something that we all need to say to ourselves really often, because at the end of the day, we only get one life, and most likely we're not going to be at our happiest or at our best or at our most productive and being the best member of society that we can be by following what other people want us to do with our lives. So let's talk about some of the downsides of not quitting, right? Because we've talked about some of the things that stop us from quitting, but we don't spend a lot of time thinking about, well, what could happen to us if we don't quit? And the biggest thing would be, well, we waste our lives, right? We get to our deathbeds and we look back on our life and there are all these things that we wish that we had done, all these dreams that we thought that we would accomplish, but we didn't because we spent our lives playing it safe or playing it according to everyone else's rules.
Yeah, and so all those dreams and stuff that you have, well, if you just stay where you are and you're not actually pursuing those dreams, then you'll never be pursuing those dreams. And you might always be thinking, oh, well, you have all this time, but no, you might not have all this time. You might not live until you're 80 or 90 and then finally get around to whatever dream it was that you wanted to pursue then. You might need to be doing that right now.
Yeah, and we've mentioned this before in a couple of videos, and we'll probably mention it for quite a while because it's still like really hitting us. A friend of ours passed away suddenly, and she was young enough and not sick, and so that her death was completely unexpected. It just came out of nowhere. One day she was here, and the next day she's gone. And she had plans, right? She would talk to us about what her intentions were 2 and 3 and 4 years from now for her life. And it's all gone. And yeah, we all know, like in theory, life is short and, and finite, but there is nothing like seeing someone that you expected to be around for decades just suddenly snuffed out and gone. And not even by an accident or so, just like it just happens. Like her body just gave out and that was it. And it really helps us recognize just how precious each and every single day that we have is, and how important it is to spend every single day working towards creating the life that you want, because you never know if today is going to be your last day.
Yeah, so don't spend any time being unhappy, certainly with no end in sight. Don't waste your time being unhappy. Sometimes, like realistically, life will have ups and downs, and so sometimes things suck, and that's fine. That'll happen. But if they always suck, don't be afraid to quit whatever that thing is that's making it suck.
And the other downside of not quitting, aside from living an unfulfilled life, which is pretty bad, is depriving yourself and those around you from having genuine relationships. Because if you're only living life a certain way to fit in with everyone else, well, you're depriving your friends and your family of getting to know the person that you actually are and of having a genuine relationship with you and really, really knowing you.
Okay, now that we've decided that it's kind of okay to quit and covered some of the fears and the downsides, so now we need to discuss how to make quitting help you. So realistically, none of us are going to get life perfectly right off the bat. It's actually going to take some figuring it out, and that's why quitting is so important, because while we're figuring out what exactly we want our best life to be and to look like, how we discover what actually makes us happy, we're going to run into things that aren't that, and we need to quit them. And so that's why being able to quit and identify when it's good is so important.
Yeah, and so to use keto as an example, I don't see myself eating keto for the rest of my life. And I said that in the Why I Quit Keto video, even though we are going to do keto together for probably the next month or 2, maybe 3. In all honesty, in a diet where you have to limit what you eat so drastically, I just found, well, if I'm going to have to limit myself anyway, can I limit myself in a way that allows me to have all foods in moderation? That's also a different way of limiting myself, and a way that I think I would find far more enjoyable. And just for me, the idea that I can't have an apple just doesn't really sit well with me. Like, I should be able to have an apple a day, right? Or is that one of those sayings that we should just like get rid of? I don't know. But it's all about designing your life. And a great book for this is A A Well-Designed Life by Kira Bobinet. And in that book, she talks about thinking of ourselves as tinkerers, meaning like we're someone who's trying to create like a product. If you think about anything, any product that you love using, that's not the first version of it. The first version of it never even made it to market. They tinkered with it, they tweaked it, they scrapped designs, they scrapped things that didn't work, and they kept what worked and they got rid of what didn't. They're tinkerers, and that's what you should do with your life. Basically, constantly quitting the things that don't add value to your life.
Tinkering is exactly how we live our lives, and you can see it in our videos. Whenever we try stuff that doesn't work out, you can see it happen in real time sometimes.
Oh my gosh, like I know a lot of people haven't seen the how to change a toilet video, but at the end of that video, there was a mega fail. So I will drop a link to that down below and up above, and you can check that out, Real Life Disaster.
So exactly, or we'll talk about it and we'll tell you, hey, we did this thing and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And perfect example, so the keto thing, so we had as a goal this year finishing a triathlon, and we decided a few months ago, basically before we really started working on the goal, that it wasn't going to work for us this year, and so we quit that goal because we decided that we're going to buy the home gym and cancel our gym membership because we weren't going there. And so what good is having a pool that we're not swimming in because we're definitely going to do a triathlon when realistically it wasn't as important to us, and we needed to identify that and then just quit it.
So we're going to close this video with a quote, and it is a military quote, but let's move past the military origins and just think about how that quote helps us reframe quitting. And so the quote is, "We're not retreating, we're advancing in another direction." And so that is how we encourage you to think about quitting. Not that you're retreating, that you're losing ground, but you're pivoting your life in the direction that feels more in keeping with your view of your life to help you find your happy. All right, we will see you guys next time, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.
Bye.